Yo, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Run It Up Podcast. This is probably your second time hearing my voice hosted. My name is Jalaal Sandy, and with me today, of course, Najee. What is going on, brother?
Yo, what's up? How you been, bro?
Working, man. A little tired, but we get up for these.
Yeah, yeah. I got normal hours tomorrow, so we chilling. We cooling. It's 9 p.m., 9:30 right now. So we cooling. We ate. Christy make some cookies. We having a good time. You feel me? We chilling. It's pod time though. I had to lock in for the pod.
Yeah. I gotta be up at 7. Well, no, I gotta be to work at 7.
GG's.
It's 8:30 where I'm at. So yeah. Gotta be up at 5, brother. But we're gonna knock this out. Shouldn't be a long episode today. Make sure you follow the podcast everywhere we are on socials: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all Run It. I believe everything is Run It Up Pod. Follow our social; they should be down in the description at Najee Adams _ and at JSandy45. Oh, you got the shit popping up. Look at that. So we can start off with song of the week. I'll let you go first because I believe I went first last week. So what is your song of the week? Please don't come with nothing weak.
It took everything in me not to do a Hurricane Wisdom song, but I'm gonna do I'm gonna do I just had it. Wait, what was it? So Meek Mill dropped the EP recently, last weekend. I want to say it was 4 songs. So my favorite song on that is How Far We Came from Meek Mill. It's not that long, but it's that kind of like soul rap Meek Mill vibes. Thank you. My girlfriend just bought me you can't see it, but they're like
Can't see it at all.
They're football sugar
cookies.
Yeah,
Nice.
But yeah, How Far We Came off the new Meek Mill EP is called Indie Pack Volume 1. It's not ass, so go check it out. What's yours?
I haven't. I forgot to check it out. It's crazy because I also have a former MMG member for my song of the week.
Oh God,
the guy who
Wale.
Not Rick Ross.
I was like, what?
Rick Ross don't even. Whatever. Anyway, Wale dropped the album over the weekend as well. I didn't get through the whole thing. I think I'm about halfway through, or about 2/3 of the way through. And I like it so far. It's real calm. I feel like he's a guy who's never gotten his flowers for real because he just got overshadowed in his generation. But my song of the week is, if I can find it, City on Fire by Wale featuring Odeal, who is a up-and-coming R&B guy from the UK.
Did Wale drop a project?
I just said that, nigga.
Oh, my fault. I was locked in on this goddamn
He's
cookie.
off you're not even.
I was locked in
I
on
literally
this
just
cookie,
said
boy.
he dropped the project over the weekend. Yeah, he dropped the whole album, 18 songs.
18 songs from Wale? Jeez.
It's only 50 minutes, brother.
Oh, okay.
Got Leon Thomas on there. It's a lot of like Afro beats on there too, because he's Nigerian. Mm-hmm. So there's a Shabuzi song on here. I haven't gotten to the bottom. There's a song with Ty Dolla $ign, Shabuzi, Leon Thomas. There's a lot of songs by himself, but honestly, I don't mind it because I haven't listened to Wale in a long ass time, probably since like 2019, 2020. So it's refreshing to hear him. He can still rap, and it's a lot different from what we are used to in terms of what people are putting out, the content that people are putting out. So I like it. It's calm.
Yeah, our friend Daniel said that he misses when we used to talk hip hop more on the pod, but
you're not a hip hop head no more, bro.
I'm a hip hop head. I just don't listen to that nasty Freddie Gibbs.
That's not nasty. I can't wait till you will come up. I get it. You haven't transitioned to your pre-unk stage yet, so you listening to Hurricane Wisdom and shit.
You little bro in me.
You still trying to be young, nigga. We are pushing 30. Give a damn about no Hurricane Wisdom, my boy. But today, we're gonna start off with the NFL. It's basically prime NFL time. It's November. It's time where you find out who teams really are. So we're gonna go through week 11. We're gonna ask you questions about my biggest takeaways, and then we're gonna hop into our week 12 picks. So starting off week 11.
Updated record.
The updated record.
The updated record. Last week, you went 7-8. I believe that is your first negative week. Last week, I went 10-5. So my updated total is 30-15, and your updated total is 25-20. So you're only 5 games back. So
that's a lot.
Not a lot. If I can have a bad week, then you got it.
You gained like a 3-game advantage in a week.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think you got like 2 last week. Damn,
we'll see. We'll see how we do.
What the loser got to do, bro?
I don't know. They got to do something though. We'll figure it out. We'll figure something out.
The end of the season is coming up.
I think. Are we gonna add the playoffs to it? Like, are we doing playoff picks? Or are we ending it at regular season?
We
can do wild card weekend.
Nah, we probably should, except for the Super Bowl, because we didn't start till like week 8. Week 8. So I don't mind adding the playoffs in there.
All right, so we still got like 8 weeks then.
All right. You got it. But we're gonna start with maybe I don't know if it's really an upset. It's an upset in terms of perception. The Chiefs lose to the Broncos. It was a pretty big game for the Chiefs in a season where they've been up and down and they've had a lot of injuries, and they've been losing to a lot of teams that they're currently competing to get into a wild card spot with. They lost to the Bills, they lost to the Chargers, they lost to the Jaguars as well, and they have similar records to these teams, but ultimately they don't get the tiebreaker because they're 0-1 against every single team I just named. And then you throw the Broncos in there, who are the number 1 seed in the AFC. That sounds wrong, but they might be. Oh no, they're 2 because they lost to the Colts.
No, they're 1.
Unless the Colts. Oh, the Colts have 3 losses.
Yeah, they're 1.
Okay, yeah, they are 1. That's crazy to say.
The Colts are the 3 seed and the Pats are the 2 seed.
The Pats jumped them, yeah. Okay, so yeah, the number 1 seed Denver Broncos not destroyed, but kind of kept the Chiefs in check over the weekend. What were your biggest takeaways from that game?
Woof. From the Chiefs game, I don't know. I think that the playoffs are definitely in danger. I would say the first time in the Mahomes era. The Chiefs haven't missed the playoffs since 2014, but I would say that this is the first time they've really, since Mahomes, Andy Reid were at the helm, that it's really been scary hours for the playoffs. Like right now, they're the 9 seed, so they're not even 1 out. Like they're the 9 seed. The fact
they're
that like
way out.
If the playoffs started today, I think coming into the season, we all would agree that the best 4 quarterbacks in the league were Josh, Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow. If the playoffs started today, Josh would be the only one in the playoffs. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. That's insane. And even he is a wild card. Like even he is on the cusp of not making the playoffs. But for the Chiefs, I just think that like there's a bunch of problems right now. I still think they are a good team. Like one of the things we're going to talk about later is who's the best team in the AFC. And like if I said the Chiefs, I would believe it. Like if someone told me the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC still at 5-5, I'd be like, I get it, because they still do have a lot of good pieces. I just think the difference between last season and this season, last season they were 10-0 in 1-score games, which is just absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Crazy.
And this season they're 0-5 in 1-score games.
That's the biggest difference.
Yeah. Also, last season, like teams were making like field goals and extra points at a league low rate versus them, and this year, teams are just doing average. And I think they have the 3rd highest rate of like teams against them making extra points and field goals. So like last season, teams were kicking the shit in the fucking stands, and this year, kickers are just relatively average, and now they're not 10-0 in 1-score games.
If you remember last year when they played the Broncos, I believe it was in Kansas City, and the Broncos basically set themselves up to win the game, and the Chiefs came and blocked the field goal. Like they were winning games like that. And I feel like sometimes sports is weird like that, where there's high variance on one side or the other. And I think a lot of the times it's either like turnover luck or like you said, just kicks not going your way or like things of that nature. And now it's been completely flipped the other way where they just not, first of all, they're just not getting the same luck they were getting last year. And then on top of that, guys are actually doing their job on the other side. And their schedule is pretty tough. Like they still have to play the Broncos again. They still have to play the Chargers again. I assume they're going to smoke the Raiders the next time they play them. So that's at least one. But they got like they
got to play the Texans. They got to play the Colts.
I'm not worried about the Texans. They can beat the Texans.
They can beat
the Colts. They can beat the Colts as well.
Yeah.
But the Colts have improved since the trade deadline. So it's not like easy come, easy go like we usually are used to with the Chiefs. But there's a realistic path to them winning their division. Actually, I don't know if that's true. Because the Broncos,
I don't know if they win the division. Yeah, I think
the Broncos already are high up. But if they beat the Broncos the second time and then they beat the Chargers the second time, like if they end the season with a positive win-loss record against their division, I think they make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think like in thinking about like how the team is different from last year, I was looking it up. Like they have a better point differential in wins than they had against teams last year. Like and I also looked up like, has there ever been a 5-5 team that's won the Super Bowl? It's happened literally one time ever in the history of the NFL, and it's the 2001 Patriots.
I was about to ask, was it the Patriots?
Yeah, it's the Tom Brady debut year taking over for Drew Bledsoe. They were 5-5 going into week 11, and they didn't lose another game the entire season, and they won the Super Bowl. But yeah, I think like the two biggest things for me that's wrong with the Chiefs is one, their run game is absolutely horrific. Like they face the third highest rate of light boxes, but they're dead last in rushing yards after contact per carry versus light boxes. So like Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco, they're getting nothing after the first attempt. Like the player, like the defense is contacting them and they're going down. They're getting no yards. They're not making explosive plays. Like their run game is just not what it needs to be. And they just don't have any juice. And also, they refused to give up a third rounder for Brees. And so I was looking it up.
They could have easily gotten Brees Hall.
They could have easily gotten Brees. I'm not even going to count Isaiah Pacheco, but Kareem Hunt, in terms of efficiency, he is 46th in evaded tackles. He is 44th in explosive rating. You know how many breakaway runs this year he has? A breakaway run is 15 or more yards. You know how many runs he has this year?
I'm going to say one.
One.
I'm going to say one.
And in comparison, Brees Hall, his breakaway runs, he has 15, which is second in the NFL. His explosive rating, 5th in the NFL. Evaded tackles, 19th in the NFL. Like he could have single-handedly changed their offense, and they decided, in the same way that Brandon Beane did that dumb shit and not traded for Jalen Waddle, they decided that they would rather have a 2026 third instead of Brees Hall. And granted, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent, so you would have had to pay him. Maybe they feel like, hey, we can keep the third. He's going to come here next year anyway. You could just sign him. Whatever.
Yeah, they could get him next year.
I'm still taking Brees Hall. I'm sorry. Like that just is
what do you think about like them using Rashad Smith more? Because I feel like
Smith.
I like him, and I feel like he fits. First of all, Kareem Hunt should only be in near the goal line. Near the goal line. Isaiah Pacheco can be your, I guess, change of pace guy, but he's lost a huge step. Yeah, I think Isaiah Pacheco can be your change of pace guy, and Kareem Hunt can be your goal line guy, and let Rashad Smith just be the third down, like the permanent third down guy. I don't want to see Kareem Hunt in, even on like third and short. Just try out Rashad Smith. I've seen him get like maybe 5 carries over the last few weeks, and I'm like, yeah. So y'all only use him for screen plays or like a dump down to the flat. And honestly, he's more dynamic than both of the other 2 running backs combined. And he's a rookie. Yeah. Like he's got fresh legs. You might as well use him. You ain't got a better option. You're gonna call Clyde Edwards-Helaire back up from the practice squad? No. I get the idea of not wanting to invest too much into your starting running back. I get it. If you can get a great value at running back, that's less that you have to pay for a position that's so easily replaceable in terms of production. But at the same time, like how do you sit here and watch Isaiah Pacheco touch the ball 8 times for 35 yards, 10 times for 45 yards, and then Kareem Hunt 12 times for 30 yards and a touchdown from the 1 because Travis Kelce fell down early or Juju fell down early. Like, it's at some point, the stubbornness comes back to bite you, and the Chiefs have just been stubborn about finding a real running back. They didn't have a run game last year. That came back to bite them. They don't have one this year, and eventually, I think it'll come back to bite them. You can't keep asking these quarterbacks to just be Superman. I know it's Mahomes, but Mahomes has done it at the highest level for the longest time currently in the NFL, in terms of just being at the pinnacle of football. But at the same time, bro, it's unfair to ask a guy to be like, hey, you know what? We can't run the ball at all, but we need you to throw for 300 plus yards every week. It kind of sounds like what the Bengals asked Joe Burrow to do in a way. And it just and you know, the Chiefs don't have a Chase Brown anyway. So that just makes it tougher for them. The only other quarterback I've seen do it, and he didn't even win a championship, was like Aaron Rodgers. And maybe like Philip Rivers at one point. But if you're not like, if you can't run the ball, there should be a point where you're just like, hey, we need a guy to block, an extra blocker back there, and we're just gonna throw the ball 50 times a game. That might work. But just trying to be a balanced offense and commit to the run against teams that, against the Broncos, bro. Broncos might have the best defense in football, top 3 defense in football, I say.
Yeah.
And you still got to play the Texans, who can make a game muddy. And I mean, the Chargers defense is bleh, but you can't run the ball against anyone, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. I also think that like what the Chiefs just don't like, their personnel wise, wide receiver, like at the wide receiver position, like they just don't have anyone that can consistently beat man coverage. And the Broncos play man at the 5th highest rate in the league. So 32.5% of their defensive snaps are in man. And when you look at Pat Mahomes' stats, right, his completion percentage versus man, 26 in the NFL. His passer rating versus man, 22nd in the NFL. Catchable ball rate versus man, 26 in the NFL. They have no one capable of creating any sort of separation versus man. Rashee Rice is great versus zone, but versus man, he's 78th in yards per out run versus man. He's 54th in target separation versus man. You look at Xavier Worthy, he's probably their best guy separating versus man, and even him, he's 67th in target separation versus man. Like, Travis Kelce's their best man separator, and he's 37 years old. Like, that just can't be the case. Like, they need a guy who can consistently win versus man coverage on the outside, and they just don't have that right now. And so I'm interested to see what they do to address that in the offseason, because that just can't be Travis Kelce going into next year. That's just impossible. God for, like, this won't happen because he's still under contract, but like Josh Downs would be fucking that's my dream cast for the Chiefs. He would be so good for the Chiefs, but granted, like, he's probably not going anywhere because the Colts still have him and blah 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 blah. But yeah, the Chiefs need someone that can separate versus man.
You know who actually might be a good signing, who also plays for the Colts? Alec Pierce.
I
mean, they have a deep threat in Xavier Worthy, but I mean, Alec Pierce has turned into a guy that he's boomer bust in terms of like fantasy and maybe week to week production, but he's become like their best separator on the outside, and he's turned into a go-to guy for Daniel Jones. I'm like, damn, maybe the Chiefs need something like that. Like, Rashee Rice is a great receiver, but he does have his limitations, and asking Marquise Brown, I don't call him Marquise, that's how ass he's been. Juju and Justin Watson and these cast of, I'm just calling them cast of characters that are not, like, in the aggregate they're fine, but individually they kind of stink. And I think honestly, this probably is Travis Kelce's last year. I think him freeing up his money would actually help them sign a receiver that is worthwhile. So for this year, at the beginning of the year, I said the Chiefs probably the best team in the AFC. I don't know if that's true anymore. I just think both conferences are as wide open as they can be. More so the AFC, though, because you have the Broncos, you have the Colts, you have the Chiefs, who might not make it, but people are just giving them the benefit of the doubt because they've proven they can do it. The Bills, the Patriots, I'm forgetting someone. I'm forgetting some division. I always do. AFC North. Who's that?
Like
the Steelers / Ravens.
The
whoever
Steelers.
wins that division, I still think it's gonna be the Ravens because Aaron Rodgers is hurt now and Jalen Warren's hurt now, and the Ravens have a kind of easy schedule until December, so they can run off some wins real quick and kind of get themselves back into the playoff picture. It's just gonna be tough when they've got 2 teams in their division that are in the playoff picture right now, so they've got to be better than, I think the Chargers are 6-3 right now or 7-3. And just figure out like a way to try to get up. Like you got to have a better record than the Bills, or you might end up playing the Bills again because the Bills beat you. So they put themselves in a tough spot. They've lost to a lot of the teams that they're competing with. Like they should not have lost to the Jaguars. They should not have lost to the Chargers in Brazil, even though it was week 1. So now they're kind of behind the 8 ball. And when you don't take care of your business, this is what happens.
But in that same vein, let's say we get to January and it's wild card weekend, and the Chiefs there's no team that the Chiefs are going to be not favored against in any round in the AFC.
Are the Broncos real contenders? Like, do you think? I know we said last week that they probably the fakest 8-2 team, 7-2 team. But at this point, like they found ways to just win games, and they won games in different ways. Like they've come back from down 20 in the fourth quarter twice. They've beaten the kings of their division. They're winning games defensively. They're winning games with their offense. So like, even though they had a nasty game versus the Raiders, they come back and beat the Chiefs. So what do you think? I'm still confused on them. Like I still can't get a grasp on them. I think their defense is fantastic, but offensively it's so weird.
Yeah, I don't really know what I think about the Broncos because I swear they were frauds coming into this, and I still feel like if the playoffs started today and you're telling me they're going up against the Chiefs or the Bills or the Ravens, I'm still taking the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens. And so like, I don't know what to think about them, even though they've shown me like they can win in a bunch of different ways. The 3-point win versus the Raiders is nasty. The 1-point win versus the Giants is nasty. The 2-point win versus the Jets is nasty. Granted, that Giants win was insane, but like, so I give you credit for being resilient and coming back and scoring 20 whatever in the fourth quarter, but like, that's still a nasty result. But the defense is good. 14th in EPA per play are the Broncos, 8th in DVOA. They give up the 3rd least yards per game, the 5th least passing yards per game, the 3rd least total points per game. And it's not like they're taking the ball away at an insane rate. They have the 8th lowest takeaways in the NFL. It's just like Sean Payton knows what to call. Bo Nix is not, I don't want to say Bo Nix is not going to lose you a game because I don't think that he's special, but I think that he's good enough to game manage you into a 12-win season. And I think that's done. Yeah, like I think that's what it's going to be. He's mobile. He can make every throw. I don't think he can make every throw consistently. I think that I'm a Troy Franklin guy, so like I love that he's emerged as their wide receiver 1. I think he still has trouble with drops. Like if as big of a Troy Franklin fan I am, like if you're relying on him, I think like him and Bo Nix have been like the worst deep passing duo in the league. Like none of all the attempts and all the air yards, the catch rate is ridiculously low. Some of it is Troy Franklin's fault, some of it is Bo Nix's fault, but like I just think that now you're telling me I gotta rely on RJ Harvey. I just don't think that I think that this Broncos team, if they stay the 1 seed, they get the bye. I just don't see them going any further than the divisional. I don't like. I can't see this as a conference championship team. I just can't.
That's fair. I think if the Bills and the Chiefs are both wild card teams, I think they can beat the Ravens. Because I just don't trust the Ravens. I don't trust the Ravens defense, bro. I don't trust the Bills defense either. I don't think they beat the Bills because I think the Bills would just outscore them.
Hey man, the Bills find a way against everybody but Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
Their defense is really bad this year, though. And the same with the Ravens. Like up until the last couple of weeks, the Ravens defense looked really, really bad. So I'm not fully like bought in on the fact that the Ravens can win a playoff game on the road, even though they do have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry and Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers, and they have star names on their defense. But until I see their defense consistently week to week, I don't know if I trust the Ravens to win a playoff game on the road. I don't know if I trust the Bills to win a playoff game on the road. Because defense, like when I think of the Bills in the playoffs, winning games. I just think of them at home destroying teams. They destroyed the Broncos last year at home. The Ravens destroying teams at home, at least if they don't have a bye. They usually do.
Yeah, man. For me, I just
don't know,
like,
bro.
If you're telling me, like, with the Bills specifically, like, if you're telling me we are like the Bills have to go into Denver to beat the Broncos, like, I'm sorry, like, I'm looking at the Bills, Josh Allen's playoff record. If it ain't Pat Mahomes or Joe Burrow, he not losing. So, like, I don't think that Bo Nix is gonna be the one to walk in there and be like, yeah, Josh, your time is up. I don't think that's gonna be him. If you're telling me it's Drake May, I could get there. I don't think that it's gonna be Bo Nix. So I would still take the Bills, but I think the Broncos are a good team. I just don't think, and I think they're a contender. Like, I don't want to sit here and make it sound like I can't in no way see them winning the Super Bowl, because I do think they're a contender and they've put enough on paper and on film to like prove that they should be a contender. But I just have a hard time getting there, is all I'll say. But the Broncos are a good team.
We haven't, that's fair. We haven't seen it like in the playoffs from them. So we have nothing to go off of. Yeah. You would just basically be going off a whim and glazing and shit, but that's fine. Yeah. Speaking of the Bills, they defeated the Buccaneers this weekend, 44-32, an absolute shootout. I mean, it was a great game to watch. Sean Tucker had 3 touchdowns. Josh Allen had 6 total touchdowns.
My dog.
Tyrell Shavers with a breakout game. I feel like everybody ate. And
Ty Johnson ripped one.
Ty Johnson had one. James Cook had one.
This the Ty Johnson hater club. It's ripping.
Me? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I hate
Ty I'm saying us.
Oh, yeah. Fuck Ty Johnson. For fantasy purposes only. But Woody, I know you're like higher on the Bills than I am. I can't shake like, bro, they just gave up 32 points. They just let Sean Tucker run for like $150 on them. So like, going into, they're 7-3, which is good. They're trying to keep up with the Patriots. The Patriots right now are 9-2. So I believe the Patriots still have a bye that they haven't taken yet. So I think the Bills can catch up, but like, do I trust them to be the team to beat in the AFC? I don't know, bro. Like, they've lost to, I got to go to their schedule, because the first team I was about to say, they lose to teams like the Falcons, and then they go beat the Chiefs, and then they'll lose to the Dolphins, get smacked by the Dolphins, and then go beat the Buccaneers. Granted, the Buccaneers aren't like world beaters, but they're a playoff team. The Panthers kind of creeping up on them, but as of right now, I think they win their division. So I don't know how much I trust the Bills to just be a consistent team. Like, they haven't shown any consistency this year at all. They did start the year off 4-0, but since that start, they haven't been consistent. They lose to the Patriots. That's another thing. They lost to the Patriots already. So they lose to the Patriots, lose to the Falcons. Then they beat the Panthers, beat the Chiefs, lose to the Dolphins, and beat the Buccaneers. That's over the last 6 or 7 weeks. Basically, since week 4, that's what they've been. So we've talked about them not committing to the run, which they did not do again. But Josh Allen just happened to be Superman on Sunday and save them. Me personally, like, it's so hard to gauge the AFC right now, because you have guys at the top that we've never seen before, like Patriots, Colts, Broncos. It feels like 2015 all over again with Brady, Peyton, and Andrew Luck and Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. Like, it's kind of crazy, and there's a lot of like unproven teams at the top, or just young teams that we haven't seen progress in the playoffs. So like, if we had to, you just said it, but like, if you had to choose the bottom crop, which is like the Ravens, Chiefs, Bills versus the Broncos, Colts, Patriots, and those top teams are playing at home. So the Patriots, Broncos, Chiefs, Colts playing at home. Who would you take? And like, convince me, because I already said I don't trust the Ravens to win a road game. The only team I really trust is the Chiefs.
For me, I'm very much, hey, you're gonna have to show me kind of person. And so like I have watched the Ravens be a dominant force in the AFC for the last 5 seasons. I have watched Mahomes literally be the greatest player to ever touch a football for the last 7 seasons. I've watched Josh Allen literally walk down the Broncos last year in the playoffs. Granted, it's a different team, but like I said earlier, like the only people he's lost to since his rookie, since like early in his career, are Mahomes 4 times and Joe Burrow once. Everyone else, I'm not taking Daniel Jones to beat Josh Allen. I'm not taking Bo Nix to beat Josh Allen. Maybe Drake May, but even then, like that was a close game. And so, like I think that week 15 game at New England will be very telling for the Bills. And for me, I had the Bills as my Super Bowl champions. So like it's tough for me to get off that quick. I personally, my hot take is that Josh Allen wins MVP and the Bills don't lose another game. And they rattle off, what are they now? 7-3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-3 season. Josh Allen wins MVP and they just go crazy. Because when I look at it, like right now, Matt Stafford is the MVP favorite. Okay, I get it. I get it. They're probably the best team in the NFC. I don't know what it is. I just can't see Matt Stafford winning MVP. I just can't see it. And then we have Drake May, which I feel like is a very, very reasonable choice. Like if I was a voter right now, I would give my vote to Drake May. My thing is though, I think we're going to get to the end of the season. I think the Bills are going to start challenging more for the AFC East. They're going to beat the Texans. They're going to beat the Steelers. They're going to beat the Bengals. I think they're going to beat the Patriots in Foxborough. They're going to beat the Browns. They're going to beat the Jets. And then the week before the season ends, they have the Eagles. And if they win that game, the last 4 weeks of the season, you would have seen Josh Allen beat Drake May and Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. And I think that people are quick to say this is a down year for Josh Allen, but like he's the only player in NFL history with multiple 3+ rushing and passing TDs in the same game. Compared to last season through 11 games, he has 100 less passing yards. He has more rushing yards. He has 5 more touchdowns, a better passer rating. He does have 2 more turnovers, but like, I don't know. Like, this is still a historically good year for anyone not named Josh Allen. So, like, he's still playing really good football. I just think he has a lot of bad turnovers this year, and he's like bad turnovers in the way that like you watch it and you're like, oh shit, what the fuck was he thinking? You know, it's like, we thought we got that out of him last season, but that's very clearly still in there. So I think that people are quick to be like, oh, Josh Allen putting up stinkers. Josh Allen's not putting up that many stinkers. Like, let's not forget week 1 when he put on one of the craziest performances we've ever seen versus the Ravens. And so like, I think that for me, that's my hot take that, you know, Josh Allen wins MVP. They go on this run. Shout out to the Bills. I don't know why I'm such a big fake Bills fan, but like, there's something about him. Like, I just think Josh Allen's got to get one eventually. And I'm
this
still
was somebody's first time watching a pod, they would think
I'm a Bills fan.
Secret lover. Nah, they would think there's something freaky going on in Orchard Park. But I mean, I understand because we've seen. Yeah, I get like the prove it part of it, but part of me wants to see one of these teams that we're not used to, or one of these rosters, like in general, not just like franchises, just break out. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to see the Patriots be good. We've seen the Patriots be good for 20 fucking years.
That's fair.
Fuck that. If the Colts decide they want to win a playoff game against Josh Allen, nasty in theory, but that's fire, bro. Like. Or watching old ass Aaron Rodgers win a playoff game versus the Ravens and a divisional rival game in Pittsburgh, like that's fire to me. Or like the Broncos, who haven't been relevant until last year for like the last 10 years before that, win a playoff game when they haven't even sniffed anything near a Super Bowl since they last won. I think it will be fire. I don't think there's anything wrong with some new blood in the NFL. I think I also think some of these franchises do need to be humbled a little bit. Like we talked about the Chiefs making dumbass decisions. We talked about the Bills making dumbass decisions last week. The Ravens just have unbelievable injury luck. They had so many injuries on defense, and then Lamar got hurt. So they've just had a quite shit year. And I picked them to win the Super Bowl coming into the year. And you see how down I am on them now because they just can't defend, and their offense is not consistent. And Lamar doesn't – he looked better last week, but he still doesn't look like he's 100% yet. But I think by the end of the season, he'll find his rhythm. I think one of these higher seed teams that are not proven can beat one of these lower seed teams that we've seen dominate for the last 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the playoffs will be fun. Like I think that the playoffs this year will be, specifically in the AFC, will be more fun than like we remember them typically being. Because like I think during the playoffs every year, during the wild card, we're like, oh yeah, we know, yeah, Lamar's gonna beat the Texans, you know.
Yeah. See you in the AFC trip, Patrick.
Yeah. So like I think it's gonna be fun. Like if you ask me right now, I would say the AFC playoffs end up being Broncos 1 seed, Bills 2 seed. Colts 3 seed.
You think the Patriots drop?
I do. I'm gonna say Broncos 1 seed, Bills 2 seed. No, I'm gonna say Broncos 1 seed, Colts 2 seed, Bills 3 seed, Ravens 4 seed, Steelers 5 seed, Chiefs 6 seed, and oh no, I didn't say the Patriots. Oh, now I fucked it up. I can't even remember what I said. But I think that all of the top 3 quarterbacks make it in, and it's Patriots, Steelers. I don't think the Chargers or Jags or Texans make the playoffs. There we go. I think that all the good quarterbacks make it, and the Chargers, Jags, and Texans.
The Chargers drop out as well. I think the Texans just are right on the outside, and same thing with the Jaguars, because nobody expected the Colts to be this good. So the 2 teams that a lot of people were picking are just not going to end up making it. Moving on to the NFC, we're going to talk about your boys real quick. Not going to spend too much time on it. I know you get emotional about losses to divisional rivals, so we're going to keep it quick. The Rams defeat the Seahawks 19-17. Not prime time, but low-key prime time. Sam Darnold turns the over 5 times, I believe. 4 interceptions. I think he had a fumble as well.
No, just 4.
Okay.
Just 4. That makes it any better.
Yeah, don't make it much better, but 4 interceptions. Matthew Stafford threw for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jackson Smith and Jigba had a great game. Honestly, it was low-key like a defensive battle in a way. But I'll let you start. I just want to know what your thoughts are on the game, and I'm putting an imaginary cannot use if Sam Darnold didn't turn the ball over 4 times, we win this game card. You cannot say that. So go.
That's fair. I think a lot of Seahawks fans, being a Seahawks fan and a part of Seahawks Twitter and everything, I think a lot of Seahawks fans are using the copium of like, if he doesn't throw 4 interceptions, we win the game. And I think a lot of shit did have to happen for us to lose this game. And I will say he did throw the 4 interceptions. On top of that, Emmanuel Forbes made one of the most insane plays from a DB I've ever seen, and all of a sudden turned into prime Deion Sanders to stop Rashid Shaheed from scoring a touchdown. And then I've seen maybe the greatest punt of all time down us on
that was nuts. That was nuts.
Like, okay, sure, whatever. And even then, we still got into a point where we could kick a field goal to win the game. We ended up missing. Great. My thing is, I just need the Seahawks to have a signature win. Like in the Mike McDonald era, we don't have one. Last season, we lost to the Lions, the Niners, the Bills, the Rams, the Packers, the Vikings, all made the playoffs. This season, we lost to the Bucs, the Niners, the Rams, all presumably going to make the playoffs. The 3 best teams we've played lost to them. We're going to eventually play the Niners again later and the Rams again later. And we have a game versus the Colts. I don't think a win versus the Colts would make me feel like, ooh, we're contenders. I don't, because I don't really feel like the Colts are contenders. I need the Rams. I mean, like for me,
the Colts have a legit defense. Their defense is legit. Their run game is legit.
But if we beat the Colts,
Daniel Jones thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, okay, cool. We beat the Colts, great. Like, cool. For me, the only game left on our schedule that would make me feel like, okay, we're contenders is the Rams game in week, what is that, 14 on Thursday Night Football. We in Seattle. We gotta win that. But yeah, bro, like I think overall, I said before the game, like my worst fear is that we come into this game, we just get fucking embarrassed and we don't look like we belong. And I don't feel like that. I feel like we belong. Like if I think the Rams are the best team in the NFC, if Sam Darnold throws 3 picks instead of 4, we might win. Like we looked like the better team. We had 14 more first downs, 29 more total plays, 165 more total yards. The difference is
excuse me, you used the card. So everything you said for the last 20 seconds. Everything you said for the last 20 seconds is invalid because here's why. Actually, I'll let you finish. Then I'll explain why you couldn't use that card.
I just think, bro, when we look at take the turnovers out, the 14 more first downs, 29 more. We had 165 more total yards, same amount of penalties. We were 7-16 on third down. They were 2-11. Like they went. The difference is outside of the turnovers, they went 3 for 4 in the red zone. We went 1 for 4 in the red zone. So like they scored when they had the opportunity to. We didn't. We kept settling for field goals. We couldn't get 6 on the board. Like we just couldn't do it. I think Darnold has to figure it out. Kubiak has to figure it out. We have to beat good teams. But overall, like in how I feel about us moving forward, I still feel like we're a contender in the NFC. Because if this is your king, if the Rams is our king in the NFC, then like I don't feel like we was outmatched. So yeah, that's how I feel.
So here's what I'm gonna say. I don't know if there's any way y'all can beat the Rams. And here's why. I think the Rams just have Sam Darnold figured out.
That's fair. That's very fair.
And we can go back to last year. The Vikings played the Rams. Sam Darnold did not play well. I believe he threw 2 interceptions in that game, and they lost. Then they played the Vikings. They played the Rams again in the playoffs. Sam Darnold got sacked 9 times in that game. The Vikings were 14-2 last year, and they completely shit the bed against the Rams. And then this year, 4 interceptions against same defensive coordinator, a lot of the same players as last year. I just think the Rams just know Sam Darnold. They know exactly. I think I said it last year when the Lions beat the Vikings towards the end of the year. I think Aaron Glenn, as bad as the years he's had, I think he put the book out on Sam Darnold a little bit, where if teams have the right personnel, they can put the type of pressure on Sam Darnold that just makes him look like the quarterback that nobody wanted to touch before he got to the Vikings. You know, there's a lot of good that you get from him. Like he has a rhythm and he has time, he looks really good. I just think he's kind of like a worse version of Jared Goff. Like Jared Goff also has the same issue to where if you pressure him enough and you knock him off his rhythm, he just looks like a completely different quarterback, as we saw on Sunday night versus the Eagles. And it's the same thing with Sam Darnold. The difference between Sam Darnold and Jared Goff just won't throw that bitch and he'll just get sacked. Sam Darnold will sling that bitch down the field, get cracked in his left shoulder, trying to throw a dime to Jackson Smith-Njigba. Shit sails 90 feet the other way, and it's going interception going the other way. Quick thoughts on the game. Like I said, I thought it was a defensive battle. I thought Puka had a good game. Devontae Adams did what Devontae Adams does every week. And Jackson Smith-Njigba's having probably the best season of any wide receiver this year. He's been the most consistent wide receiver in football. I think the Seahawks have big problems. Like, I don't think they should worry about Sam Darnold week to week, but they can't run the ball. Seahawks still have trouble running the ball. Ken Walker can't get enough carries to be considered a workhorse. Zach Charbonnet is just used as if his back is so big he can't wiggle through the O-line. And I'm like, both of these guys are being used incorrectly. So that's fantastic. But you can't ask your defense every week to just be this stalwart of a defense every fucking week. Like, it just can't happen. Especially with the firepower that's in the NFC West, with the 49ers getting healthy and the Rams just having great coaching and great talent that people might not be aware of on defense, but they're just really well coached and really well prepared every fucking week. So I'd say this to say I'm not gonna call the Seahawks pretenders, but they gotta win. They gotta beat the 49ers coming up, and they gotta beat the Rams because they've already lost to them each one time. Like, I don't care if they blew out the Cardinals. I don't care that they're blowing out the Buccaneers, who to me they're just the best team in a pretty bad division.
We lost to the Bucs.
Oh, you did. Yeah, tough. But the Buccaneers are a great team. It felt like y'all won that game too. That's what's crazy. And then y'all ended up losing because Sam Darnold threw a pick again. He's just, he's good for what you ask him to do, but he's not a difference maker. Like, he can play really well if the system around him is very well sounded, but asking him to do anything outside of the structure of the offense consistently is a lot for him.
I think,
but his flashes are really, really good.
His flashes are great. I just think the floor is just so low that, like, it's hard to consistently win, especially in the playoffs, in like a big game when teams have spent a week game planning to stop you. And what you do, like, I looked this up, since 2012, there's been 25 instances of a quarterback throwing 4 interceptions and 0 touchdowns in a game. Sam Darnold has the most at 3 of them. One of them was last week. One of them was the Seeing Ghosts game versus the Patriots, and one of them was another one in like 2019 or something like that. And so I just think that, like, he's made a lot of strides since then, but, like, to show me that you still have that in you is very scary. Like, that's very, very scary for shit to fall apart that bad in a game that, like, was easily the biggest of our season against the team that embarrassed you last season. The reason you're not on the Vikings right now is because of the Rams. And you went out and put up a fucking stinker again. It's like I agree. It's hard to trust us moving forward. So I'm with you. Whatever people feel about the Seahawks after this game, I do not blame them. I believe.
But I agree with you. Right now, they're just like inching closer to pretender, but I'm not going to fully call them pretenders yet because that defense is legit. They're well coached. I'm just worried about Sam Darnold, man. Moving on to the Eagles and Lions. Actually, we could run through that real quick. I don't have much to say. I don't have much to say. The Eagles win another boring ass game.
I think the Eagles are really good. They don't turn the ball over. Their defense is great.
I'm not gonna say they're really good. They just know they just know the style they need to play to win football games. Like, their defense plays so well at times that they just get away. They're allowed to get away with so much nonsense. Like, they could get away with not throwing AJ Brown the ball for 2 whole quarters and then just coming out in the fourth quarter and absolutely dominating. They can get away with Saquon Barkley having 15 touches for 30 yards, and then in the fourth quarter, they just go nuts. They can get away with Jalen Hurts absolutely losing his mind and throwing the ball out of bounds half the time because their defense is so good. And their defense is getting healthy too. I think, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and Jalen Phillips and Zach Bond, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, like, bro, that defense is legit. And, when teams win the Super Bowl, they always start off slow. Their defense looked kind of shaky week 1. They honestly still have a hole at cornerback too. But, like, and I'm not saying they're unbeatable because I think they can be beaten. I think the Packers can beat them. I think the Lions can also beat them. But it's just tough, man. Like, you got to go to Philly to beat them, and it's not easy to win in Philly. So, I would say that they're maybe they're not the most, like, they're not playing the best in the NFC right now. But if I had to pick a team to win, like, to go to the Super Bowl, I would probably pick the Eagles right now. And I've been saying this since like week 2. I would pick the Eagles just because the path to get past them is so hard. It's almost impossible to beat them. They control the clock so well. They don't turn the ball over. Their defense makes you earn every fucking yard. And then they play a team that's almost the complete opposite of them. Like the Lions want to get explosive plays. They want to go for it on fourth down all the time. Their defense actually played really well on Sunday, but a lot of times their defense is up and down. Like they have the talent, but sometimes guys just don't show up. My biggest issue with the Lions is, and I've said it for 2 years now, they just, when they're not front running, they look completely different, man.
Man, you can get Jared Goff a little itchy in that pocket and shit gets spooky.
I said it week 1. If you get the Lions to start trailing, as long as your team's not 2S, like if you're the Browns and you went up 14-0 on the Lions, good luck because they're about to throw the ball all over your head top, you know? But like if you're playing the Eagles, the Packers, who both have legit defenses, you're playing the Rams, who have legit defense. Can't think of another NFC team right now, but
the Seahawks, legit defense.
Okay, sure. The Seahawks are in the playoffs right now. So Seahawks, legit defense. You can't be so stubborn that you won't just grind plays out half the time. And sometimes they do, but a lot of the times, like when it's big games, when it's playoff games, like they just seem like if they're not in control of the game, they almost seem to never grab control of it. And I think they're just maybe, I'm not gonna say they're overrated. The Lions are really good and they're really talented. They're well coached. I just, when the thing on Jared Goff is if you pressure him, he looks like a professional tap dancer. And I think if he doesn't look good, Amon-Ra has a bad game. And then it kind of just spirals. And then you got Brian Branch trying to knock niggas' heads off. Like it just gets worse when they're losing. I hate Brian Branch, by the way. Don't know him personally, obviously, but like it's always something with him. It's always some type of antics. And I feel like every time the Lions are losing, he just decides to crash out at the end of or like mid-game. And then they're like, bro, you can't do that. He's like, huh? Higher on the Eagles than I am on the Lions. I think the Lions are still very capable of making some type of run in the playoffs, but maybe it's my bias a little bit. I just don't trust them to show up like in the biggest games of the year, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I really have nothing else to add. I think that the Eagles are a good team. I think, like you said, if I had to pick a team in the NFC to go to the Super Bowl right now, I'd pick the Eagles. I'd pick the Eagles or the Rams. And that doesn't mean I think that the Eagles are the best team in the NFC because I don't. But like I trust them to like do what needs to be done. And yeah, the Lions, I think that they're honestly still trying to figure shit out. They lost both their coordinators. Like they're switching play calling duties. Dan Campbell calling plays now. So like I think that they're still trying to figure stuff out. They're going to thrash the Giants this week because they win every game after a loss. And yeah, that's all I really got to add. So yeah, we can move on.
And before we move on to our picks, we're gonna talk about who we think are the best teams in each conference. I mean, you just said who you thought the best team was, like who. So I guess we can differentiate who is the best team and who do you think is coming out of the NFC?
I think the best team in the NFC is the Rams because I think that they can win in every way they need to. Like if you need to win a shootout, I think they can win a shootout. Like they have the personnel, they have the explosiveness to be able to win a shootout. If you need to win a defensive battle, like the one they just won against the Seahawks, they can win that. If you need your defense to step up, you got Jared Verse, you got Braden Fisk, you got guys out there that can step up and pick off Sam Darnold 4 times, or just be like they're not a bad defense at all. They're one of the best run defenses in the NFL. And so you have guys that can do that. And then on the opposite side, you have Matt Stafford, who's playing, if not the best football of his career, damn close to it. And I think you have the best coach in football. So like, I just think that the Rams have a lot of stuff going for them. And I can't see a scenario that I would be like against any team in the NFL that I'd be like, they're outmatched. And people like to forget, like this Rams team very clear, almost like was very close to beating the Eagles last year. Like, and it's not the same exact Eagles team or the same exact Rams team.
One Saquon big ass run away from beating the Eagles.
Like this Rams team could have been in the Super Bowl last year. And so like, I think that And like the Eagles were a very good team last year, like a historically good team, thrashed the shit out of the Chiefs, and the Rams almost beat them. And so yeah, I think the Rams are the best team in the NFC. Who I think comes out of the NFC. It's very hard for me not to say the Seattle Seahawks because I'm biased, but I will say I think the Rams come out of the NFC. I have the same answer. Rams come out of the NFC and they're the best team.
Okay, so I also think the Rams are the best team as of today. It is November 19th. So we have to put that on record just in case people try to come back and say we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. It is November 19th.
Well, the Rams are the season 9-8, so
yeah. Matthew Stafford broke his back. Like, all right, my nigga, I didn't know that was gonna happen. But the Rams right now are the best team in the NFC. They might be the best team in the NFL right now. And I think, like you said, great coaching, great adding Devontae Adams in the offseason alone. One of the biggest additions in the offseason. Honestly, might be the best addition in terms of year-to-year value. Like to get a guy and for him to just lead the league in touchdowns as soon as you get him. It's crazy. Devontae Adams is still, what did we say, top 12 to 15 receiver last week? We said he was. Yeah. And he's still in that range. He's still very reliable. When Puka was out, he was still producing. Defense is legit, well coached. Kyron Williams is healthy. That they have all the recipes you need to win a Super Bowl. Who do I think is coming out? Like, I don't know, bro. Because I mean, I feel like there's teams that haven't hit their stride, like Green Bay.
You want to say the Packers so bad?
I do. I don't. I'm not gonna do it though.
See it in your eyes.
I feel like the Seahawks still have a lot to prove. I feel like the Packers still have a lot to prove, and both of those teams have big games coming up against divisional opponents. So as of right now, I'm gonna say the Eagles, just because, like I said, they have mastered, almost like how the Chiefs did for a long time, just mastered how to keep the ball out of the other team's hand.
Yeah, they don't turn it over. They do not turn the clock
down. Don't turn the ball over. Oh, it's 3rd and 1. Tush push. We didn't get it. Tush push. And the shit works. Like, I hate watching them play because I remember watching the Eagles like 3 years ago, throwing the ball all over the yard. AJ Brown's got 150 yards and 2 tutties, and Devonta Smith's got 9 catches for 80 yards and a tutty, and Dallas Goedert's got 5 for 50. And that team lost to the Buccaneers in round 1 because they absolutely spiraled towards the end of the year. And they just found a way to be like nasty for the product, but good for the result. Like they're very tough to watch at times. But part of me respects the hell out of it because at the end of the day, shit is all about winning.
It's about winning games.
So I can't. It's nasty to watch, and I kind of like. Part of me wants the tush push to be banned because I want them. I feel like the tush push is like they don't be earning them first down sometimes, you know, because they know the shit works. They know they have an advantage. They still be getting false starts on them shits, and they don't call them because you can't call it every time. But
it's nasty. It's nasty, but like when we look back at the 2024 Super Bowl champions 20 years from now, no one's gonna be like, well, they're gonna be like, oh, the Eagles won the champ.
The Eagles were the best team all year last year. Like there was no doubt and I picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl just because I needed to see them lose. I just didn't believe they could lose the Super Bowl. The dark magic had to end somewhere. So I mean, I'm glad that they were able to finish off like a storybook type season, but there is some regression. Like I don't think they're unbeatable. And I think there's a world, like you said, where the Rams could come in and beat them. I don't know if the Packers can go beat them in Philly. But I think the Rams could. I think the Lions have a shot. I just got to see more of like the wild card level teams. Like I need to see more of the Packers. I need to see more of the Rams. I mean, not the Rams, the Seahawks. I also want to see the 49ers. The 49ers are getting healthy. That's a little scary. I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't trust their defense to really hold up, but that offense looks fucking insane right now with just George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Moving on to AFC. So this one's a little bit more difficult because we got the teams that are usually at the top, the bottom or outside looking in. So If you had to pick today, who are you picking as the best team in the AFC? And who do you think is going to the Super Bowl?
I really don't know, bro. Like, if I had to pick today, I would say the Bills are the best team in the AFC, and I would say that the Bills are the best team in the AFC, and it feels crazy to me to not say that the Chiefs are gonna make the Super Bowl because who the fuck has beat Pat Mahomes in the playoffs? I just like if he makes it there, who do I fear? If I'm the Chiefs, if we get through the gauntlet of the season and make the wild card, and we're looking at, I'm not fearing none of them niggas. So I don't.
I feel you, bro. But it's crazy because Mahomes is the only one I feel like that with.
Yeah.
Like, I could see the Bills losing to, like I said, one of these teams. I could see the Ravens losing. I just might sound like a fucking idiot. I don't see Pat losing to none of these niggas.
That's what I'm saying.
But the first thing is they gotta make it. That's the one thing. Like, it's not. It'll be not easy, but it'll be easier to make the wild card than to win their division. Winning their division is damn near out of the picture.
I'm gonna say the Chiefs make the Super Bowl, and the Bills are the best team in the AFC.
Okay. I'm gonna say, oh my god, this is so nasty, bro. As of today, I'm gonna say the best team who's played the best football in the AFC this year. Ugh. Yuck. Ugh.
The Broncos don't get no love.
Nah, I'm not gonna say the Broncos, bro.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not gonna say the Broncos. I'm not gonna say the Bills either.
No, that's fair.
I think the Colts have played the best football in the AFC this year.
That's fair.
Daniel Jones has had one bad game against the Steelers. Jonathan Taylor is an MVP candidate. Defense is balling the fuck out. They just got Sauce Gardner. DeForest Buckner, I think he's hurt right now, but he might be back this upcoming week.
Zaire Franklin.
You're right. Zaire Franklin. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know a lot of their players on their defensive side just because I don't really watch Colts games like that because I got Packers shit to keep up with. So I don't really keep in with the Colts defensively, but I know that their defense plays really, really well. They just, granted, their division is not great, so like it's kind of cupcakey, but they were blowing teams out. Like, they weren't just a 20-24 win against the Titans. Nah, they were smacking the Titans, smacking the Texans, smacking the Jag. Like, bro. Now, granted, they got tests coming up. They got the Chiefs coming up. I also believe they have who was I just talking about? Somebody else has got the Colts have someone else coming up that's contending for the playoffs. So they have some better teams coming up, and I might sound like an idiot in 2 weeks. But for now, I'm just going to say the Colts just because they've been the most consistent team in the AFC, despite the Steelers' loss. And I think as of right now, I would give Shane Steichen Coach of the Year.
That's fair.
Who do I think is making the Super Bowl? It's so nasty to pick a team that's not even in the playoff picture.
So crazy, right?
Make the Super Bowl?
Like, what the fuck?
So
they might not even make the playoffs.
Bro, they might not even make the playoffs. Like, what is the logic to pick someone else? What's the logic?
If Chiefs get in there,
you know what? Nah, I can't do that. I can't do that. I was gonna say the Patriots. I'll pick the Patriots. I just don't know if they have enough offensively. I was thinking about the Ravens. Can't do it. Thought about the Bills. Can't do it. So here we are with the Chiefs at the 9th seed. Right? With a very possible shot of making the playoff. The Chiefs are the team that it's like, you just got to get in. You just got to get in. Like, I remember the Lakers had just won the chip, and they were like barely holding on 7-8 seed, and you would be like, bro, they just got to make it.
They don't want to see us.
Yeah, they don't want to see us, right? Like they just got to make it. And granted, they got absolutely bum rushed, except for that one year they went to the Western Conference Finals. But
even that year, we was the 7th seed, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm telling
that
you,
year they were the
don't
7th
want to
seed.
see us.
So there is like a real possibility where like the Chiefs, even if the Chiefs are the 7th seed, it's like, okay, who's the 2 seed? It might be the Bills, but if it's the Patriots, like I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, like
the only team that I would like hesitate on is the Bills, and even then, nah.
Even then, no. I've watched Josh Allen's season end for 4 years straight to him.
Right. Exactly.
Like, why would I expect anything different?
Yeah. I gotta. There's no. This is where I say I gotta see it. I gotta see it. There's nothing telling me the Colts can go to the Super Bowl. Even though I just called them the best team in the AFC, it's just from what they've done. They have a great resume so far, but there's a lot of ball game left. So I'm gonna say the Chiefs make the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna. Who did I say in the? Did I say the Eagles? I did.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna be. I don't know if that's gonna happen. That's probably not gonna happen. But hey, we only got 11 weeks to go off of. Are you ready to make your picks, my guy? Are you ready?
I am. I'm ready.
All right. First up, Thursday Night Football, which is tomorrow. We are recording on Wednesday. Your Super Bowl pick, Bills. I guess the Houston Texans in Houston. Bills are 7-3. Texans are 5-5. So, the hope is there. They can keep winning against divisional opponents. But unfortunately, CJ Stroud will not be playing again. Hope he gets well soon. Concussions are a bitch. But who do you have winning this game? I already know who you're going to pick. So just hurry it up.
Yeah.
No glazing, please.
This is quick for me. I already said I think the Bills went out, so I'm taking the Bills. I think Josh Allen is going to. I honestly, the Texans defense is really good, so I'm not going to say that they're going to blow them out.
In the NFL,
yeah, I'm not going to say they're going to blow them out, but I think they're going to play well. I think Josh Allen should play well. Hopefully, he doesn't turn the ball over. James Cook probably gets over 1,000 yards on the season in this game, and yeah, I'm taking the Bills pretty easily here.
I'm also taking the Bills. However, I do think the Texans can win this game. Davis Mills is not terrible. Like, he's not that good, but he's not awful. I could 100% see Nico Collins going for 100 and a tutty. Because the Bills defense just can't seem to get stops right now. And Josh Allen tends to do dumb shit sometimes. So there is a path where I could see the Texans win it. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna pick the Texans. They're at home. They're at home. They're at the point of the season where they gotta start winning games. So even without CJ Stroud, I think they have enough to stay with the Bills. Like, there's obviously a world where the Bills just go nuts offensively, but at the same time, the Texans have been the best defense statistically all year. So I think as long as their defense keeps them in the game, which I think it will, the Bills are a little shaky on the road. I think the Texans give themselves a chance. So, yeah, I'm gonna pick the Texans. Thursday night games are weird. Shit like this happens all the time. So I'm gonna just go out on a limb for a Thursday night game. Next up, we got the Ravens and the Jets. Tyrod Taylor. My fault. Let me rephrase that. Lamar Jackson versus his OG, Tyrod Taylor. The Ravens trying to get back into the playoff picture. I'm easily picking the Ravens. I don't see a way. Unless Lamar Jackson goes out with some type of injury, there is no way in hell the Jets are winning this game. Their defense looks like it's getting better. Lamar Jackson seems to be improving week by week. Derrick Henry seems to be catching some type of rhythm. It's getting a little cold. They're going to start running the ball a little bit more. They're running fullback sneak dives with Mark Andrews for touchdowns. So, yeah, I think the Ravens are finding their rhythm, and they're about to become a dangerous team.
Yeah, I'm cool to keep it quick here. I think the Ravens are also winning. I think the Jets are a bad football team, and the Ravens have some sort of urgency to make the playoffs. It's not like they're 7-3 and they can waltz on in there and fuck around. No, they need to win. And I think they need to win convincingly. And so yeah, I'm taking the Ravens. I know Lamar had he didn't practice today because of some ankle shit, but Wednesday practice reports really mean nothing to me because no vets practice on Wednesday, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, other than and I guess we'll talk about it when we get to the Bengals, but Joe Burrow practicing full today, that means something to me because nobody practices on Wednesday. So if you practicing Wednesday full, then hey, we'll see. But I'm taking the Ravens.
All right, we both got the Ravens on that one. Next game, Steelers at Bears. Two teams who are number one in their division. The Bears are number one in the NFC North as of today. Am I buying that? Fuck no. They continue to beat teams that are ass by 1 scores, and they go in the locker room and act like they just
Johnson.
Yeah, they go in the locker room and they act like they just won a Super Bowl. And look, the Bears being 7-3 is cool. I don't fuck with them. You know, they're not even earning my respect off the type of wins they're getting. They almost lost to JJ McCarthy, who looked absolutely dog shit last week. And it took a miracle kick return for them to put themselves in position to win that game. They barely beat the Geno Smith-led Raiders.
They should have lost to the Bengals.
They should have lost to the Bengals.
Yeah.
Is it probably another game? I think they've won 5 straight games or 5 of their last 6, and 4 of those have been last second walk-off field goal.
The Giants blew a double-digit lead versus them.
Yes. Jackson Dart goes out. They blow a double-digit lead in the 4th quarter. They go in the locker room and act like they just ran away with the division. Pipe down, y'all. Pipe down. Yeah, I ain't won the division since 2018. You ain't played the Packers yet. You played the Lions once and they bust your ass. Relax. All right. With all that being said, I'm taking the Bears. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is playing. That's the only reason I'm not picking the Steelers, because I'm not picking Mason Rudolph to win anything ever in life. So, as much as I hate to do it, I'm taking the Bears just because they've got some type of rhythm going on, and they're playing well. Their defense is playing really well. Just to give some more emphasis on this, they beat the Raiders by 1 on the road, last second field goal. Beat the Commanders on the road by 1. They took care of business against the Saints. It's the Saints. Lost to the Tyler Huntley-led Ravens. And then won against the Bengals in a shootout on a last-second missed tackle. And then the Jackson Dart thing I just talked about, and the walk-off field goal last week. So a lot of these games just feel like, bro, they're just hanging on for dear life. They've lost 2 divisional games already. They lost to the Vikings in week 1, and they lost to the Lions in week 2. So, I do think they figured some shit out offensively. Caleb Williams still doesn't look great, but the offense in general looks a lot better than it did. Caleb Williams is he's improvising a lot better than he was 4 weeks ago. And he's not doing it as much.
Yeah, and when he is improvising, he's not leading to turnovers. They have the Bears have the best turnover differential in the NFL. They've taken the ball away a league high 22 times, and they've given it up just 6. So he's not throwing picks, he's not fumbling, the receivers aren't fumbling, and they're taking the ball away the most
at an insane rate.
Yeah.
I think turnovers are so variant that I think you can't just hope that your team turns the ball over every time somebody goes on the field. But I mean, sometimes that's just how the coin flips. Your team just has a year where they force 20 plus turnovers, and that's part of the reason why they've been winning these games, because their defense been playing well. But on the other side is they do enough just to scrape by, and I'm not respecting that. But I'm taking the Steelers. I'm taking the Bears just because they don't have their starting quarterback, and I don't know if Jalen Warren's playing. So a Mason Rudolph, Kenny Gainwell, DK Metcalf offense just sounds very, very nasty to me. And I'll take the Bears.
Yeah, I'm also taking the Bears. I think they're just a better team. I also have no faith in Mason Rudolph. And like the Bears offense is pretty good. Like Ben Johnson's figuring out their top 4 offense in yards per game, second most rushing yards per game in the entire NFL, which feels crazy because like it's not like DeAndre Swift is having some crazy season, but like between him and Kyle Monangai, like they're making shit shake. Caleb's also doing his part.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, Caleb's doing his part. They're middle of the pack in passing yards, but they're 8th in total points per game, and the Steelers secondary is pretty horrible. Or it's not horrible. They've been better in the last couple of weeks, but like they're susceptible to big plays. I honestly think this is the Luther Burden breakout week, if I'm being honest. But regardless, I'm taking the Bears to win this game.
Olamide Zaccheaus, 50-yard tutty.
Yeah.
Next up, Patriots at Bengals. Joe Burrow's possible return.
Burrow, he's back.
Joe Burrow's return.
He's
not that it matters. They sending that man out there to die. I'm taking the Patriots. The Bengals are not a good football team. They have amazing talent on offense. They have a great quarterback. They have great receivers. Chase Brown is he's good enough. He's a good receiver. I mean, a good back who can receive the ball, can catch the ball out the backfield. That defense is so fucking bad, bro. It's so bad.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's the reason they lost last week. Joe Flacco's also part of that reason. But like, why even bring Joe Flacco back into this? Like, let's be for real, bro.
You mean Joe Burrow?
Yeah, the other Joe.
Yeah.
Why even bring Joe Burrow back into this? Like, because y'all are 3-8. Sorry, 3-7, soon to be 3-8. You won one divisional game all year, and the other games you won is when Joe Burrow was healthy. Granted, you're not winning out. You're not gonna beat the Ravens when it's time to beat the Ravens. Y'all struggle against they barely beat the Browns in week 1.
Yeah.
So like, what are we talking about, man? I would have just kept Joe Burrow out for the season. You look, it's mid-November. You're 3-8. Are you hoping to go 8-9 again? And
they always do this shit though. They do this shit every year where it's like they have some crazy last week scenario where it's like if the Bengals win and the Dolphins lose and the Colts win and the Steelers tie, it's like,
and then the Bengals win, but everybody else also takes care of their business, and then Jamar Chase on the sideline like,
yeah, exactly. He's not even fucking playing, so
dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking the Patriots. I just think they're a better team. They're a better coach. Drake May is playing some of the best football out there at the quarterback position. And their defense is really good. The Bengals O-line is not. And it's Joe Burrow's first game back in almost 3 months. Like, he's probably going to have to have some type of rhythm. He's probably going to miss some throws. I'm not betting on Joe Burrow off an injury against a team that's maybe the hottest team in football. Like, a lot of people's like, they're like the people's champ of the NFL right now. Like, people love Drake May. People love Stephon Diggs. Like, they're just a pretty likable team, which is crazy because I've hated the Patriots my whole life. But yeah, I don't like, how do the Bengals win this game? It would have to be like the Bengals defense would have to force multiple turnovers. And I just don't think that's possible because the motherfuckers can't even tackle.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bengals. I think that
you're fucking delusional.
I think Joe Burrow practicing on a Wednesday is a Hail Mary. I respect it out of the Bengals. I do. It's either play him in this game and try and save the season, or don't play him, or we don't see Joe Burrow play again until September 2026. So if he's gonna come out for any game, we might as well throw him out here. And if we lose, if the Bengals lose by week 15, we can say, hey, just shut it down. But I
shut it down. Shut it down next week if y'all don't win.
I respect going for it. Great players do great things. Joe Burrow, T. Higgins masterclass. Jamar Chase wanted to be spit man, and he'll be at home watching. So, but I'm taking the Bengals. I don't feel good about it, but I love a good revenge. Not even revenge, just a good comeback narrative. So, yeah, give me the Bengals.
Yeah, we love delusion, brother, but we're going to move on. Keep it quick. Giants at Lions. Shit versus gold. Jameis looked okay last week. Like, he did what he had to do, but honestly, bro, they could have had a lot. It could have been a lot worse. Like, Packers dropped a lot of interceptions last week, but I mean, he worked with what he had to work with, and they ran the ball really well. But the Lions just have too much firepower, and they should win this game pretty easily.
Yeah, I also have the Lions. I think that they have won 13 straight after a loss. And I think they've covered in every single one of them. So for me, it's pretty simple. Why go against that? And I also just think that like Jameis Winston is really fun to root for and watch and like see him do crazy things, but also make pretty incredible throws. And he's like exactly what you want in a fantasy offense. Just like give the best players, like if Malik Neighbors was still playing, he would be putting up insane numbers. But I just think that overall that's just not going to win them this game. And yeah, I think it should be pretty easy for the Lions to come in, take care of business, and right the ship. To be honest, 7-4, and they're 3-1 at home. The Giants are 0-6 on the road. They have not won a single road game all season. So yeah, this should be a Lions double-digit win. If I'm being honest,
should be a get right game for Lions. Next up, divisional matchup: Vikings at Packers. The first matchup between the two of them this year. The Vikings look pretty damn bad offensively. Defensively, they've been up and down, but JJ McCarthy has not looked good, honestly, since week 1. So it's been a real roller coaster year for the Vikings. I can say the same thing about the Packers. Like, they start off 2-0 and they're the September Super Bowl champs.
They were.
And then Matt LaFleur starts calling nonsense. They lose to the Browns, which was fine. The Browns seem like they just are one of those teams that can sneak up and spoil anybody's week. And then they lose to the Panthers, and I'm like, the hell is going on? And they lose to the Eagles. A very winnable game. But I think I'm gonna pick the team who I think is just clearly better, and they're playing at home. And that's the Packers. Last week, they, I'm not going to say struggled against the Giants, but they definitely made it a lot harder than it needed to be. I believe Packers receivers dropped 7 passes last week, and Jordan Love had the best PFF grade of his entire career. Like, if you look at the box score, it's going to look like he was just ass and he couldn't get anything to go, but he did fuck up his shoulder trying to truck somebody. Please stop. Comes back. You got Romeo Doubs dropping passes. You got Luke Musgrave dropping passes. You got Christian Watson dropping passes. Like, everybody just had fucking honey and peanut butter on their fucking cleats and had butter on their hands. So, like, for them to endure all of that on offense, Josh Jacobs also got hurt. And then on defense, where it was just like, yeah, we're just not going to force a turnover today. Jameis Winston going to throw it right at us, and we're just not going to catch the ball. So that's been my biggest thing with them this year. Like, they haven't turned the ball over that much, but the defense isn't forcing turnovers either. So, like, if Jordan Love makes one mistake, I feel like the defense already has their backs against the wall in a sense, and they haven't really forced a lot of turnovers. I'm not sure where they rank because I haven't checked, but they're probably towards the bottom half of the NFL. But I did like that the Packers are more aggressive offensively with their play calling. I think my biggest issue with the Packers is that Matt LaFleur calls plays like he doesn't trust Jordan Love. And I don't know what Jordan Love has done this year to make Matt LaFleur think like, yeah, I just don't trust him in the big games. He's not turning the ball over. He hasn't flat out lost you a game by himself. He hasn't done that since his first year as a starter. And he's running the offense that you put out there pretty damn efficiently. He has the highest completion percentage of his career. The touchdowns are down, but he's had 3 games this year where I'm like, oh, that's the best game he's played in his career. Like, week 4 against Dallas, yeah, they tied, but he was fucking balling. Week 10 against the Steelers. He was balling. Last week, he was throwing absolute seeds, and dudes were just dropping the ball. And they still were able to get a dub out of it. Christian Watson had 2 touchdowns. I think this is a game the Packers really, really need because they have the Lions on Thanksgiving on next Thursday. So, you lose this game. I believe 3 of their next, or correction, 4, their next 4 games are all divisional games. So, listen, your playoffs start now. Like, these are the teams you got to beat to propel yourself into the top half of the NFC. I wouldn't be mad if they lost to the Lions, but I think realistically, if they go and beat the Vikings and then go beat the Bears, or beat the Vikings twice and then go beat the Bears, and I think they have the Bears again at the end of the year. That's not like that's pretty realistic. Like, I think they can beat the Bears twice. I think they can beat the Vikings twice. If you want to be considered a Super Bowl contender that you say you are, because I don't believe it no more. I just think they're a good team that hasn't proven anything yet. So prove me wrong. Like, I want to see y'all kind of dominate the Vikings, and I want to see them beat the Lions, even though I don't think they will, because they've already beaten them once this year. It's kind of tough to beat a great team twice in 1 year.
Yeah, I'll keep it short. I think the Packers are going to win. I just think they're the better team. I think Josh Jacobs, honestly, I hope he plays for fantasy, but also I hope he doesn't because I don't want his knee to get even more fucked up. So shout out to Emmanuel Wilson. I think let's feed Christian Watson. He's your best receiver, even when Jaden Reed is playing. Yeah, I just think the Vikings are a little bit of a dumpster fire right now. I don't think JJ McCarthy's a good quarterback. At least right now, he's not. I'm not saying that he'll never be, but as currently constructed, I don't think that he's a very good quarterback. And it's tough to win games when your quarterback has like the largest turnover percentage in the NFL. So I'm going to say the Packers take this one.
Boom. Next up, maybe the game of the week. I'm not sure yet. Possibly the game of the week. Colts at Chiefs. Nasty start time, 12 o'clock. I feel like that should be like a 4:25 game, but whatever. Chiefs coming off a loss against the Broncos. Colts coming off a bye week. They recently beat the Falcons in overtime in, I believe, they played Germany.
Madrid,
was that Germany?
Or some shit like that.
Madrid.
I don't know. Yeah,
Madrid was last week. Madrid was last week.
Berlin, I don't know.
Yeah, some shit. That's not here. It's not Indiana. But I mean, the Colts look really good. And I think this is their game to prove that they're a serious team. Like, people have so much respect for the Chiefs that even if the Chiefs have an off year, like if you can go into Kansas City and get a dub, fire. Like, nobody's arguing with that. I'm picking the Chiefs though, because I just feel like at some point, man, they gotta make some shit shake. Like, the Chiefs not really gonna miss the playoffs, right, bro?
No, there's
no way they miss the playoffs, right? The Colts are a really good team. I don't think it's gonna be an easy win for the Chiefs. They've had a pretty tough schedule. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the Chiefs' schedule is kind of fucking nuts. But listen, these are the games you gotta win. Mahomes has looked a little bit off the last couple of weeks. I expect him to bounce back. Defense having their struggles in the secondary, but I think they'll get some pressure on Daniel Jones, enough for him to maybe have 1 turnover. And they're pretty good against the run. Like, Jonathan Taylor's a dynamic back. He's probably the best running back in the league this year. Not even probably. He is the best running back in the league this year. Overall, I'd have him top 3, top 2. But everything that the Colts do well, I think the Chiefs have a good formula to combat that. So I'm going to take the Chiefs. They're playing at home. They tend to play a lot better when they're at home as well. So, Chiefs.
Yep, I'm taking the Chiefs. I think if I'm saying that they're going to make the Super Bowl, like, they damn near have to win out. So, the Colts, the journey begins with the Colts, and I think that I think everyone's waiting for the Colts to collapse. Like, I think everyone is waiting to say that they're a fraud. And this feels like the perfect game to show that. So I'm gonna go ahead.
I wouldn't even be like they're frauds. They lost to the Chiefs on the road. Like, that's
fair. That's fair. But I think that it's a game that people are gonna say, like, yeah, we knew that the Colts were not like serious. Like, we knew the Colts were not a serious team.
Everybody's waiting on this game.
Yeah. So
I told you.
Yeah. So I'm taking the Chiefs in this one.
Alrighty. 2 more. Are you jotting these down?
Yeah. I'm right there after everyone.
Cool. Next game, your boys, the Seattle Seahawks, go to Tennessee to play the Titans. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, just in case you want some shit you got to get off.
I got nothing to say. This is an easy one.
Seahawks by a lot. They should win by a lot.
Yeah, this is they're 0-5 on the Titans are 0-5 at home, and the Seahawks are 4-1 on the road. I think that Mike McDonald is going to quite literally break Cam Moore's brain, and I want him to be put through hell as we should. Like if I just watched him have Matt Stafford have the worst game of his season, then like good fucking luck, Cam Moore. And so I'm taking the Seahawks to hopefully win. Like the last couple games before the Rams, we was up 28-0, 28-0 by halftime. I need that. I need that again. So I'm taking the Seahawks to give some good belt to the Titans.
Man, we just picking all the damn same teams. I'm waiting for us to pick different teams. I think we've had Bengals. All this.
I picked Bengals.
Okay.
That's our only
I think we have two different picks. Nah, I picked the Texans.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, Jaguars at Cardinals. I'm going to keep this one short as well. I'm going to pick the Jaguars, even though I don't really like them as a team. They did have a pretty impressive win last week against the Chargers, or maybe the Chargers are just frauds as they are every year, but Trevor Lawrence didn't play bad. Their defense played really well. Josh Hines, Allen, low-key having an amazing year. And I just don't think the Jaguars defense gets enough love because they are the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know if they make the playoffs, but they should easily win this game. The Cardinals don't have an ounce of anything on either side of the ball that makes me believe that they can pull this W out.
Shout out to Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett
set the completions record.
Jacoby Brissett being in the record books is quite a feet. It's definitely something. That'll be a trivia question in like 5 years.
Dead ass.
Who has the most completion in NFL history in a game? The people that saw are gonna be like Jacoby Brissett. Everybody else like, who the fuck is Jacoby Brissett?
The Michael Wilson game, maybe.
The Michael Wilson game. But yeah, I just think the Cardinals are a rebuilding team. Kyler Murray probably played his last game as a Cardinal. Jaguars are good enough to win this game, and even though the Cardinals are talented on defense, they just don't have enough.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I am taking the Jags to win this game. I just think that they are the more talented team. And usually that's enough to win, especially against a team that isn't really trying to win football games. I'm going to take the Jaguars to beat the Cardinals. And I know we shit on the Cardinals pretty much every year, but I don't think that they're that horrible. I just think that it's a bad year. We'll come back next year.
It's a horrible year. Yeah. I'm gonna pick this up because we got a couple shitter games mixed in here. So Browns at Raiders, literally the number 1 seed bowl. Will Shedeur Sanders start next week? I believe he has a good chance of starting next week. I don't know if
it's already confirmed. He's the starter.
Okay, so Shedeur Sanders is starting next week against a Raiders team that looks quite possibly like the worst team in the NFL outside of the Titans. Ashton Jeanty has the least amount of yards before contact, which is just absolutely absurd. This is what happens when you draft a running back top 10 and have no O-lineman to help him out. They just got smacked by the Cowboys. They are playing at home, but do I trust Geno Smith against a Browns defense that is one of the best in the NFL and almost beat the Ravens last week? Nah. I just don't think, like, even if Shedeur is playing, Shedeur didn't look great last week, just being honest. But like, he didn't have a full week to prepare. He just found out at halftime, hey, bro, you gotta go play. All right, cool. Now he's got a whole week to prepare. Apparently, he never played with the first team starters ever. So that's another thing. Like, they don't really have chemistry like that. So I'm hoping he can kind of find his rhythm. I can definitely see this going real bad, but because Max Crosby is one of the best defensive players in football. But at the same time, like, I think the Raiders are just terrible, bro. They're so bad offensively, and the only semblance of talent they have on offense is Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers. Other than that, like they drafted Zach Bech, but he's a rookie. Like they don't really play him enough. They're relying on Tyler Lockett to be their wide receiver one. So I'm taking the Browns.
Yeah, I'm taking the Browns. Shador is obviously my QB1. I know a lot of people think that he's horrible. I think that I think the Ravens are a tough team to come in and just be like, yeah, cook. And so, especially after not getting any first team reps or really any like live game reps since the preseason. But yeah, I'm taking the Browns, even though Browns quarterbacks are 0-17 when making their first career start. He's breaking the curse. Yeah, I just honestly think that the Raiders look horrible. Like, I think Pete Carroll should never have taken that job. I think Chip Kelly's the highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL, and that's absolutely insane considering that, like all based off what? Like, we watched him win with Ohio State when they have like the most elite roster in the country and pay all of their players an insane amount of money and have the most freakish athlete in college football at wide receiver. Like, yeah, of course they're gonna look good on offense. And so I think that this is a one and done regime for the Raiders. Like at the end of the season, Pete Carroll, go back to coaching at USC, brother. I mean, go back to teaching at USC. Chip Kelly, I don't know what the fuck he gonna do. I don't think that Ohio State would take him back if they win the Natty again, but we'll see. And yeah, I'm taking the Browns. Shador, baby. Perfect. Hit that motherfucking, throw that motherfucking wrist up. Perfect timing, boy. Shador Sanders. Let's go.
Just because you said that, they probably can get their ass well. Moving on. Eagles at Cowboys. Usually sometimes it's a Thanksgiving game, but we get a little bit early this year. Cowboys at home coming off a win against the Raiders. Eagles coming off 2 straight wins against playoff caliber teams. I'm going to take the Eagles. I just think they're better. Even though the Cowboys defense has vastly improved, at least in the front seven. They traded for Quentin Williams, and they just absolutely ran through the Raiders O-line last week, him and Kenny Clark. So, I mean, I think it'll be a competitive game. I think it'll be close. But like I said before, Philly just knows how to control the clock. I assume Dak is going to throw one interception. He usually does not, but I just feel one this week. He usually plays well against the Eagles, but this week I don't see it. I'm hoping it's a shootout for fantasy purposes, but realistically it might not be. But I'm going to take the Eagles.
I'm taking the Cowboys. I think that this should be a fun one. I think the Cowboys look
a fun one.
They trade for Quentin Williams. I think they look pretty good on defense. Granted, the Raiders are just horrible, so it's a tough, measuring stick. But they should be better on defense. They lost by 4 in week 1 versus this Eagles team. I think that their offense should be explosive. I think, if you're asking me which offense I trust more to put up 21 points, I'm gonna say the Cowboys. And so,
but you're playing the Eagles.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I still think, like, even in week 1, they put up 20 on them. And granted, this Eagles defense is way better than it was in week 1. But
yeah,
I'm gonna take the Cowboys.
Jalen Carter got kicked out of the game the first 10 seconds. So
he got kicked out of the game first 10 seconds. It was the first game of the entire season, period. But I'm taking the Cowboys. I think it should be fun. The Eagles are due for a loss. You can't just keep scraping. Somebody gonna beat you eventually. So
hey, they did it last year.
I'm gonna take the Cowboys. I'm taking the Cowboys. Boom.
Cool. Next up, Falcons at Saints. I'm gonna keep this one real brief. I'm taking the Saints. I usually pick the Falcons just due to my union. However, no Michael Penix, possibly no Drake London. I believe Raheem Morris should be fired. I believe Zach Robinson should also be fired. Blow the fucking Falcons up. Michael Penix is out for the year. This team is too talented to be this ass, but this is what happens when you have a terrible coach. They are 3-7, and quite possibly after this game could be the worst team in the division. They've already lost.
They don't even own their first round pick.
They don't have their first round pick, but they already lost to the Saints this year. Or I'm sorry, They lost to the Buccaneers already this year, and they lost to the Panthers twice. So now, like, if you want to have a respectable record, maybe you start winning some games now, but it's a little too late. Like, the Falcons aren't making the playoffs. I've complained about them not giving Bijan the ball enough. Still don't give Bijan the ball enough. And Kyle Pitts is just out there doing tight end stuff. Like, they used him earlier in the season. Now he's just out there being a big body. And they don't throw him the ball anymore. He's just getting cardio out there, which is not his fault, but it is what it is. I'm taking the Saints. The Saints aren't a good team, but the Falcons defense looked absolutely putrid the last 2 weeks. I don't know how I can trust them to win a game if they can't get a stop. They've given up a total of like 70 points the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. I'm taking the Saints. Tyler Shuck's second start. Trying to build on the game versus the Panthers before the bye. Tyler Shuck versus Kirk Cousins. I think the Falcons offense is going to definitely look different with Kirk Cousins at the helm. And I don't think that that's good. So I'm going to take the Saints to win their third game of the season, to be 3-8, just like the Falcons will be at the end of this game. And yeah, I feel pretty good about it. Maybe we have a little Chris Olave crazy game. But yeah, Saints.
Yeah, I don't know about the Chris Olave crazy games. AJ Terrell's there, but hey, maybe we get a Alvin Kamara throwback game. Next game, Buccaneers at Rams in LA. Sunday Night Football. Rams coming off great win against the Seahawks. Tampa Bay coming off a tough loss against the Buffalo Bills. I am taking the LA Rams. I think they're the best team in the NFC right now. Matthew Stafford's playing maybe best football of any quarterback in the NFL right now, maybe outside of Drake May. But he's absolutely an MVP candidate. And he's been consistent week in, week out. Defense playing well. Sean McVay's doing what he does. Puka Nakua's back and healthy. And on the Buccaneers side, bro, as bad as they look sometimes, like, I respect what they've done this year for all the injuries they've had. Like, Mike Evans out for the year. Emeka Egbuka missed some time. Baker Mayfield playing hurt. Bucky Irvin's been out since like week 5. And they just found a way to win games. I just think the Rams are a better team at this point in time. I thought their defense held up well in the first quarter against the Bills, and they kind of just broke down. But yeah, I can see this being a shootout, but I don't see a way, or not a shootout, but a 27-23 type game. And it end in a way where the Rams defense just takes over at the end.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams. I think, like I said, I think they're the best team in the NFC. I think they're honestly the best team in the NFL. And I think that the Bucs got a little bit of fraudy on them. After this game, if they lose, they would have lost 4 of their last 5, and all 4 of those losses will have been to good teams: the Lions, the Patriots, the Bills, the Rams. Like, I mean, that feels fraudy to me. And granted, they did have a lot of injuries, so maybe that's why. But I don't think that I'm taking the Buccaneers, who have a horrible defense, to stop this Rams show. And so, yeah, and just to keep it pushing for the Niners, Panthers, I don't got shit to say. I think the Panthers suck. Even though Bryce Young put on a masterclass and broke the Panthers franchise passing yards record, give me the Niners.
The 6-5 Carolina Panthers, that's crazy. I'm also going to take the Niners. I think it might be an entertaining game, though. Like, the Panthers run the ball really well, and their defense has never mind. Their defense actually hasn't looked that great. Looked great against teams like the Packers who don't know how to run plays, but the 49ers are kind of catching a rhythm, and I think them playing at home will definitely play a factor in this game, and they got to find a way to stop Christian McCaffrey, which no one's really done this year, so I'm taking the 49ers. Jumping over to the NBA real quick before we go. We're not going to talk about a lot, but I did want to get into a couple of things. There's been some big news. LeBron James is back. Woo! Played his honestly impressive record 23 season with 23rd season, which if you told me 10 years ago LeBron would still be playing, I'd tell you you're a fucking liar. It's just something we've never seen. So respect to the king himself. I don't know how much longer he's gonna play, probably another year or 2. I'm gonna say another year. And then he's gonna say he dedicated it to Kobe. But I wanted to talk about the Clippers, bro. Like I had the Clippers as a top 5 team in the West coming into the year, just because I bought into their retirement home of roster. But after 3 weeks of the NBA season, like it's bad, bro. It's really, really bad. It's different when a team is just like not playing well, but they look like an old, slow, sloppy team. Like James Harden looks fantastic. Kawhi Leonard hasn't played a game in 2 weeks, and Bradley Beal's out for the season. Chris Paul looks like he should have retired. And they don't have draft picks. Like there's no future with this team.
No, bro, that's what happens when you take the oldest team, like when you come into the season with the oldest team in basketball and you hinge your title hopes on a guy who just doesn't play that much basketball. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I want my best player on my basketball team to play the sport pretty often. The Clippers are okay with their best player not playing.
It's really bad, bro. Like OKC still has the rights to their first this year. Well, it can either go to OKC or it can go to the Wizards. And then their second this year is a pick swap with the Nets. So they don't have any picks this year. And then OKC owns the right to their 27th first round pick. And then, well, I think they have another second this year they got from Memphis. But they get a pick swap with OKC for like best worst swap or whatever. So OKC is probably going to be fucking top 3 team for the next 5 years at least. So that's going to be pick number 28, 29 in the first round. So good luck with that while OKC continues to build a fucking dynasty. And like I'm not even mad at them. It's just I don't know who told the Clippers that they were this amazing organization. They haven't won shit. They haven't done shit. They bring in Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. What was that now? 6 years ago. And they thought it was going to work out. And kudos to them for like doing a high risk move. A guy who's coming off a championship and a guy who was considered a top 15 player in Paul George at the time. But it just never worked out. The demise in the bubble. And then Kawhi starts getting hurt. Paul George starts getting hurt and has some mental health issues going on. Then you trade for James Harden, and James Harden looks phenomenal, but there's nothing they've ever done to get over the hump. They were never better than the Lakers. I thought they were more talented than the Lakers, but I don't know if they were ever a better team than the Lakers. They haven't been better than the Thunder. They haven't been better than the Timberwolves. They haven't been better than the damn Grizzlies before they blew it up last year. Like, what have the Clippers done? Outside, and I didn't even mention the Nuggets. Outside of going to the Western Conference Finals, without Kawhi Leonard, going into a deep playoff run where Patrick Beverley shoves the shit out of Chris Paul. That's the only thing I remember in that series. Outside of that, and like losing in the second round in the bubble, like, what have the Clippers done? Nothing of significance. Mind you, something we never talked about because we weren't recording at the time. The Clippers are also dealing with a fraud case from the offseason. Pablo Torre just out here exposing the NBA's dirty secrets all offseason. Like, the Clippers are just in a bad spot, bro. The ownership is nasty. The roster construction is nasty. They don't really have a future, and they mortgage their entire future to go get 2 guys who have been unreliable for the majority of their career.
Yeah, I think that, like, for me, the Paul George trade is easily the worst trade in NBA history. And I know people are going to say the Luka trade, and I get it. Like, trading a player the caliber of Luka at his age for like Anthony Davis to then go, blow it up the next year because you fire the owner. You fire the GM is not great. But like, they traded the Thunder a dynasty for Paul George.
Yes.
Like, like they gave the Lakers Luka Doncic, and like the Lakers have to build a competent roster around Luka Doncic. The Thunder, and credit to Sam Presti, like he's done his due diligence and worked out like around the margins and built a real title contender, but like not even title contender, a juggernaut of a team. But when we look at the Paul George trade, it was Paul George for Danilo Gallinari. Okay, whatever. Shea, who currently is better than Paul George ever was. Trey Mann, who is no longer on the team. Jalen Williams, who is a top 15 player and ended up being the second best player in a title team. The 2023 first became Jaime Jaquez, blah, 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 blah. And they, like you said, now have their 2026 unprotected first. The Clippers are currently 4-10. So that pick theoretically could be a top 3 pick, and the Clippers could have given the Thunder Shea, Jalen Williams, and one of AJ DeBanza, Cam Boozer, or Darren Peterson. And like they not single-handedly, but the Thunder, they played a massive part in building one of the most dominant teams of all time. Shea right now is on a level that like a lot of players just never reach. And they gave up him for Paul George, who contributed to nothing for their franchise. That is easily the worst trade in NBA history for me. And yeah, I'm glad
I can't argue with that. I think it's either one or the other. It's either the Clippers or the Mavs. But you're a Lakers fan, so I understand the Clippers hate. As far as I'm concerned, like the Clippers have never done anything of significance in their entire existence. Lob City era was fun to watch. I'm a Chris Paul guy, so I fucked with it, but they did nothing. They blew a 3-2 lead in the second round. No, to the Rockets.
Oh yes, the Rockets
in the second round. And after that, I was like, yeah, the Clippers they're never gonna sniff a finals run, let alone a championship. And they did a great job rebuilding that, but at the same time, they mortgaged so much that now you got to pay it back, brother. Now you got to pay it back. Yep. Can't keep running from the grind. It's gonna come back to bite you at some point. And the Clippers are just ass. Finally come back. I don't know what's gonna happen with James Harden and the rest of his career. I don't know what's gonna happen with Kawhi Leonard and the rest of his career. But things are gonna get worse for the Clippers because they're gonna keep losing, and Steve Ballmer is gonna have to answer some tough questions, not only about his team, but about why the fuck he's trying to circumvent the salary cap for the Clippers. Yeah. We'll get more into that later in the season as time flies by. But real quick, former Clippers point guard Patrick Beverley. My goodness, he's been on a fucking run, hasn't he? Yeah. He goes on his podcast every week, says some nonsense.
He went at beef with Trae Young.
He went at Trae Young, talking about like Trae Young's never done anything, and I'm like, bro, you're Patrick Beverley, like you've never been an all-star. Trae Young is a perennial all-star. And then he goes at Klay Thompson a couple weeks ago, or maybe that was last week, about like his relationship with Meg Thee Stallion. Nothing to do with basketball. We don't even talk about basketball. And now he's in a situation where I don't know why I chuckled because this is not funny. A domestic situation with his little sister, who's 15, and apparently put his hands on her and got arrested. Now, granted, I looked up some of the details of the situation. The guy that she was fooling around with was 18. That's nasty work. But at the same time, if I'm Patrick Beverley, I'm about to say, I'm trying to yoke up a teenage girl or a woman, you know, go yoke up that grown-ass man over there. What's wrong?
I can't imagine walking into the room and seeing my 15-year-old sister and an 18-year-old guy. This is Running Up Pod Uncensored. I can't imagine walking into the room and seeing my sister and an 18-year-old nigga and being like, looking at the 18-year-old nigga and being like, you good, bro? Yo, what the? Yo, what?
Yeah, no,
come on. Get the fuck out of here.
We're gonna pick and choose what we censor. Like, nah, bro. That's terrible. Now he's out on bail, but bad situation for him. And I guess I'll just mention this real quick before we go. Antonio Brown
He's a sicko.
I don't even know if I can say this for YouTube purposes.
Sicko, bro.
Arrested was on the run a couple weeks ago for attempted pirum, and now he is facing, or possibly facing, up to 30 years in prison.
Jeez.
For attempt. I'm gonna just say this real quick. I've never seen, because we weren't alive for OJ Simpson. I've never seen a Hall of Fame level athlete's career just drop so fast, bro. And it's sad in a sense because we were there for his prime, and we've watched his entire demise. He was never like all the way there, but he was just really good at football. And when guys are really good at things that most of the I don't know what I'm trying to say, the public is not good at, like sports or music, there's a lot more respect that goes into their craft. So for a guy that we respected as kids to watch him turn into this, it's sad, but also like it's tough to just say like he'll never, like anything that he had to give to the game of football or like as a person is out the window. Like he's not gonna be a Hall of Famer. He's never gonna be a guy that people call to be on a podcast anymore. Like you're cooked. You're done. Even if he doesn't get convicted, he probably will. Let's be honest. The man was on the run in another country, for Christ's sake. He probably did that shit or did something close to it. His legacy's cooked. We're gonna be telling our kids about what Antonio Brown was and compare him to Julio Jones.
I will not be telling my kids about no goddamn Antonio Brown. I'm gonna be telling them about Jackson Smith and Jigba, brother.
Bro, them Julio AB days was crazy, bro. With Calvin Johnson, those were some battles, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I could tell the story. You can tell the story of the NFL without goddamn Antonio Brown, though. For sure.
Yeah, you can.
For sure. So I think that whatever he does, he deserves whatever punishment come with it.
Mm-hmm.
And
not a good person.
Vontaze Burfict changed that brother's life. So
forever, bro.
Vontaze Burfict.
I'm not like contemplating if that's the hardest hit ever made because he just hasn't been the same since that moment. It's nuts. 10 years later, I think it's 10 years or almost 10 years, maybe 11. But yeah, I got nothing else to give. We've been going for 2 hours. I think we covered a lot. Hopefully we are able to record next week. I got a lot of shit ramping up, but I'm gonna try to be available. We got Thanksgiving coming up. I hope y'all eat some great turkey and ham, whatever the fuck you like to eat. Cranberry sauce, stuffing, all that good shit. Follow the podcast at Run It Up Pod on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok. Hopefully we get some clips up this week. We also need some YouTube subscribers, so go subscribe and like some of them videos. And we shall talk to y'all in the next episode. Appreciate y'all for listening. And hope I do this correctly this time. Like we do in the end of every episode, make sure y'all go run it up.